So you said this is your final, or today was like your final mixing day for one of your classes?
It was one. So today's class was to lab for Audio 101.
Mm-hmm.
I already finished Audio 101, and today I just completed the lab, which is a lot of hands-on, and they teach you, well, of course they teach you what they can't teach you from a lecture. So the lecture was all about frequencies and all about tone and types of microphones, stuff that can be taught on a PowerPoint. But the lab is all about actually doing it yourself. And the first class was about soldering, which was really fun. So we made our own cables for instruments and for microphones. So now, if I have all the right equipment, I can make my own cables, which is pretty cool. Also in that lab, they taught us how to use a mixing board and a digital one too.
Oh, see, that's
and
cool.
Today, the final mix was to kind of use everything that we've learned. Use the digital mixing board. He showed us a brand new song that we had never heard, and we had to mix it in like an hour. And the instructor was there. His name's Charlie. He's super cool. He's really cool. And he was kind of walking you through it.
That's sick, man. So what is mixing kind of like, what is that, what does that entail?
Like, what's the process?
Yeah.
So the idea is, let's say you want to record a song, or you have a band. You need to get everyone in the same room, or everyone record their own track separately.
Kind of like how we're doing now, right?
Exactly. So you record a bunch of tracks, whether you do it all at once or whether you do it one by one. At the end, someone has to mix it all together to make it sound good. If you record everything and outright put them on the same track or on the same file, they're not going to sound balanced. Maybe the drums are going to sound way too loud, or maybe the voice is going to be too quiet and the guitar overpowers it. So you adjust the volumes, right? Maybe I want the kick of the drum in the middle, the snare a little bit higher, the guitar under the voice. That sounds already pretty straightforward, right? Just adjusting the different volumes of everything. But then you also got to worry about specific frequencies that can ruin the sound of individual instruments. So for example, like how you were saying right now, if I get too close to my microphone, it starts to get really boomy like this, right? That's all the bass. So that's called a proximity effect. So proximity effect is, depending on how close you are to a microphone, the louder the bass frequencies get. So it's not necessarily that my voice is getting louder. It sounds more like it's getting muffled because all the bass energy from my mouth is rising as I get closer to it.
Because of the proximity, right? Because
of the proximity.
That makes sense.
So there's ways to get rid of that. There's a thing called EQ, equalization, which if you've ever been in the car and you mess with the sound settings, there's treble, middle, and bass.
Yeah.
So it's all that. It's bass, it's middle, treble, but then you can also make them into subsections, which is lower bass, lower mids, upper mids, lower treble, and then upper treble.
That's sick. See, and I imagine it's even harder for as far as music goes, because in a podcast, it's relatively, there's two tracks playing at separate, there's usually there's one track going and then there's another track going whenever the other person is talking or whenever one person is talking. But with music, it seems it is where there's piano or there's different instruments kind of playing at the same time, and so that mixing seems very important, right?
A tricky part about mixing is instruments that share similar frequency ranges. So a voice, a guitar, a piano, and maybe some parts of a drum set all live in the same frequency spectrum, which is the mids, right? That's in the middle of the spectrum. what's tricky is that if you have a rock song and you have like 3 guitars, maybe a keyboard and a drum set, well then a lot of the frequencies from the different instruments are going to meet and clash in the middle. So your job as a sound engineer is to find ways to make one shine and not really drown the other one out. And you do that with, there's tons of things. There's compressors, there's EQ, there's gates. And EQ, like I was telling you, it's a way to change the tone of an instrument. Let's say you have a guitar and you record it, and in person it sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
But on record, on a recorded track, it sounds different because you're getting the real sound. Not what you heard in the room, because then also a room changes everything. Just being in a specific room has so many variables, whether you're at a bedroom, whether you're at a gym or like a big hall or a closet. I guess to not go down a rabbit hole. Mixing is pretty much trying to get all the variables of a recording and either minimize them or try to get rid of them as much as you can.
That's so much more in depth than like I would have thought.
It could be complicated, and if you want to do it professionally and kind of practically, there's a lot of numbers and a lot of math. And there's stuff to do with milliseconds and with frequencies. Like frequencies is already a ton of numbers. If you want to add a delay to a certain instrument, you got to know the milliseconds of delay that you want to apply, and the list goes on and on. And today, while I was doing my final mix, it humbles you because you think, like I'm getting the hang of this. Maybe I'm gonna make a badass mix today in my class, and then he plays the song. He's like, "All right, go for it," and you're like, where do I start?"
Well, that's kind of like that stage. I don't know, maybe not stage fright, but kind of just like, it's like, oh, okay, like now you're handed it, now you have to like complete control, no guidance, and it's just like, do it. That seems a lot more.
And my teacher, Charlie, he is a full-time sound engineer. In fact, he works with this guy, I think his name's Randall King. He's a country singer, but he goes on tour with him. And even like 2 weeks ago, they played in Denver, and now they're gonna play in like California. I don't know, they're all over the place. But he's on the ball, and he can hear things you would never even think they're there. And then he'll show you, look, and he'll turn up that specific frequency, and you can hear it clear as day.
Damn. I guess that's just kind of like the territory, right? That kind of comes with the job. Like the more you start mixing, the more you hear. Like, so I feel like probably mixers are a lot more. I don't even know the right. Not judgmental. I don't think that's the word, but kind of just like they can pick out. Yeah, analytical. They can pick out certain sounds that I wouldn't be able to pick out, or like the common person wouldn't be able to pick out.
From my own experience, I can already tell how my ear has changed to the point where these headphones, there's some Sennheisers, I can hear them differently from my Beats, but you're sold with the idea that Beats are very high end and maybe like a luxurious brand because of how much they cost. But these Sennheisers are half the price, and I don't want to say they sound better, but they sound different. They give you a different sense of like headroom, which your headroom is kind of how you hear things. So if something is panned to the right, you'll hear it only on your right ear, and then or maybe you might hear only something on your left or in the center, or maybe even like on top, or how far away something sounds. But it's a fun world to learn about, and it can also be daunting.
Yeah, it seems like you have to be like you have to have a real passion. You have to have like a real like just interest in it. Like I think it's very interesting, but like I don't think I could. Me personally, I don't think I could really get into it. That's just me though. Like, I think it's interesting. I think the field is interesting, but, you know, getting into the minute details, I don't know if that's for me.
I'm really interested.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see where it leads me.
Man, when you were saying about the, you know, the right and left here, that just gave me back some flashbacks, some memories of our, you know, the podcast, bro. I can't remember which episode it was, and you know.
Oh God. Oh, I know exactly which one it was.
Have you archived the current episodes?
The old videos?
Or the old videos? Yeah.
No, I haven't even touched the YouTube, so they're still up there as of now. I'm gonna mess with all that tonight. But the episode that you're referring to is the one with the first episode with Noah.
Is that one? I thought it was a later one. I thought it was one just me and you.
There is one. I'm not sure which one that one is, but the one I do remember for sure is the one with Noah, because I think you're only on the left ear, and then Noah and I had to share a microphone.
Oh yeah.
And we're only on the right.
So like, what's one way we could have done that better? Like, if you had the knowledge you had now, but like you still had the same, like would he still use the same setup, or like would you do something like completely different? Like if we were all in one room using, you know, my one computer, what would we do?
Okay, so yeah, let's pretend we went back in time, and we're like, yo, our friend Noah has this awesome TikTok page, and we want him on the podcast.
Which we still want to get him on. If Noah, you're listening to this,
the issue is, yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
Go for it.
The issue is we only have one laptop, and we only have one mic. So how are we gonna get us three? I think my solution would be someone is on the laptop, so probably you. But then Noah and I would record on our own on our phones.
Huh. Okay.
With using headphones. Maybe we have wired headphones. Maybe you have other pairs of headphones laying around with mics.
Yeah. Do you like AirPod quality? Are you familiar with AirPod quality, or like would something like that even work? I guess if it's the only thing you have, right, then you would kind of have to.
Yeah, it might be a little tricky because it's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
But I think you can record with a Bluetooth microphone like that. That's because the issue is not having an interface for all of us in person. Right now we could do it because even though I have an interface, I'm not using it right now because I'm plugged in directly with a USB for the microphone, and then my headphones are connected to the computer, and then you're doing the same on your end. An interface would be if we're both in the same room and we both each have our own mics and our own headphones. So that's when it does get a little bit more complicated. But of course, the original Beans with Dreams episodes, they sounded shitty because there was no way to make them sound better unless we invested some serious cash back in the day.
We weren't prepared for then, and we're probably not prepared for now, bro. I was gonna say, like, when you brought up the Rock Band mic, it reminded me of, like, because, like, I told you, right, Philip got, like, these two turntables, and he got, like, a mixing board, but, like, a physical one, like not a digital one. I thought it was so cool to, like, just kind of play around with. And he's like, man, dude, I wish I had a mic. And then I was like, but, like, and then I remember, like, because I used to go to his house all the time, and that, like, you know, whenever he's in town, I'll still pull up and stuff. But he used to have, like, this Wii game. I can't remember what it was. Or, like, I think it was, like, one of the Mario parties. And like, you know, you're able to, like, plug in a mic for one of the mini games and kind of, like, mess with it. But it's a USB mic, and apparently, I don't know why he didn't want to, maybe he couldn't use it. But it was a USB mic, and he needed the other port, or, like, a different port to actually use it with that mixing board. Yeah.
So he needed probably an XLR connection.
That's exactly, yeah. Now that you said it, okay, that's what he was saying.
USB mics, nothing wrong with them, with the connection. The connection doesn't really decrease the quality, at least from what I've heard. It's more of USB mics are really only for computers. You can't really use them for anything else. I've been enjoying learning audio. Also, I'm not a DJ for for anyone wondering. I don't know how many people, maybe like
DJ Morshares coming up.
it's more the adults, you know, like when you try to explain it to like your grandma or to one of your aunts, they're like, "Oh, so you're gonna be a DJ?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna be a DJ."
You know, and it's funny because I feel like this field has been around forever. I mean, you know, like songs and recording have been around forever. It's not nothing really new. It just hasn't been like very mainstream. I feel it's not very like
Dude.
out there. You know.
And maybe this could be a topic we could talk about right now. Is it's been around forever, like you said, but right now it's the easiest it's ever been. Back in the day, you had to buy thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and you had to record on tape, which if you fucked up, you can't just press rewind.
Yeah.
Or delete.
You have to get a whole new tape, right?
Yeah. Which, you know, that's not just with music. Like, think about with computers, or the time that there wasn't computers back in the day. Like, fuck.
Yeah, dude, no, it's crazy. Like when you think about just like what people have to deal with back in the day, like, dude, like it's so funny because like whenever I'm typing a paper, a response, a discussion, a text, no matter what I'm typing, I tend to at least like make one mistake, you know, because I like to do things like, you know, I like to be, I don't know, maybe it's not efficient, but you know, I just try to be like quick about it, relatively, like as far as like my typing speed. Yeah, quick with it. I try to be, you know, I try to get it done, but you know, I tend to, you know, misspell some words just in the like so often, you know, whether it be in text or whether it be like on a computer. I can't imagine having to like rip out like a sheet every time, bro. Like be like again. But I feel like at the same time, and like, you know, it's like, I don't know if this is accurate, but like you see like at least movies and stuff, and they're so like they're so quick and yet so accurate. I mean, they have to be, right? Imagine like you're at the very bottom of your paper and you misspell something. You know?
Oh god, that'd be infuriating. I can't imagine it because we have it so good now. We have it so good. And then we complain too. Like, oh, this fucking iPhone's not working today. It's like, dude, you have an iPhone in your pocket right now, dude.
It's so crazy having like literally a mobile computer, bro. Like I thought about that, like, cause I was taking the bus from to school today, and I was just like, man, bro, it's so crazy. Like, you know, I was just thinking that, you know, I'm like, dude, I have a literal computer in my pocket. Like, how fucking insane is that? Like, and like most of the time I don't think about that. You know, just every once in a while the thought comes to me. It dawns on me that I have like all the information I want at like my fingertips.
Yeah, and you don't think about it because we're so accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And we're used to seeing people on their phones all the time in public or at their house, wherever they are. It's not uncommon to see people looking at their phones. So it becomes normal to you. But yeah, well, sometimes you stop and think and you go, holy crap. We have access to everything.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy? Like, I feel like eventually we are gonna be the old men, and we're gonna be out of date, right? Like, imagine, like, I can't even imagine what's down the line, what's for the future. Yeah, like as far as like just everything, bro. Like I can't imagine like explaining to my kid that like back in the day I had to like, or like it seems so normal now. Like it is so normal now. Like having to like write out your paper and submit it into like a plagiarism, like kind of like thing. They're gonna be like, damn, Dad, you had to do that? Or damn, Grandpa, what the hell was that?
Damn, Grandpa, you had to actually type
You had to actually type that, imagine? Like... But it's pretty crazy because, like, even now, in Google, like, I only learned about this recently. In Google, the Google Docs, you can just, there's like a microphone kind of setting or like a voice setting where you can just go in there and talk and it'll type out the words.
You know, but that's probably not a good move because think about how many times you write something down and then you delete it and revise it and edit it. Compared to if you're just talking shit into the mic, you're going to be saying some dumb stuff or repeating yourself over and over. You're gonna have bad syntax.
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna be using double negatives all the time.
You're gonna be off. That's for damn sure. You know who's not off? Wombo.
Wombo over here.
Wombo over here. Double Wombo. Double Womboed out.
chillin'.
Look at that. Look at him, bro. He always got his drink.
Do you think
right next to him.
Bro, his collection of drinks. What are you talking about?
He's sipping, bro.
He's sipping on multiple cups. I was gonna ask, do you think Wombo is on vacation or he lives here?
See, it seems like he's on vacation. That's something a vacationer would do, but you never know. You know, it seems like it seems like he's like accustomed to this. Like this is like a normal day in the life of Wombo, and you know, this kind of like, you know, random as this is, completely unrelated. It kind of brings me back to like, I don't know if you ever heard the story, or like, no, it's not really a story, more like a parable, more like a philosophy type thing. I've been taking an Asian philosophy class.
Oh,
But-
you have?
Yeah, I have. It's like I have to take some sort of philosophy class, and I'm like, you know, because my sister, she's taking like all this like a bunch of classes, and I'm like, you know what? Why not do the Asian one? And I heard the professor was chill. Honestly, that's the main reason why I did it. But like, you know, I just was like, why not kind of like, because I'm tired of Plato, you know. I'm tired of hearing that fool, bro. Even
Bro, I heard him enough, bro. Where
I heard him
my
enough.
Asian brothers at?
That's what I'm saying, bro. I want to hear my man. I want to hear like Confucius.
Confused?
Stuff about stuff about Buddhism and shit. So it's week 2, and it's pretty cool. But this isn't even Asian philosophy. But like, I don't even know if it's philosophy. But like, I heard the story where it's like, apparently there's like this Mexican fisherman, right?
Mhm.
And like he's you know, he fishes half the day. He is like, he's not like super rich or anything. He's like a pretty poor dude. But you know, he says he goes. Sorry.
For a parable, this is already a promising start, you know?
It's nothing
Mexican
crazy.
guy.
It's nothing crazy, bro. It's just like, you know, it's this Mexican guy, and he just goes out. He has this little like wooden fishing boat, and you know, he makes just enough money to like, you know, just be chilling to pay the bills, and he ends work about half the day, and then the rest of the day he kind of chills with him and the fam, right? Gets him, his wife, and you know, his kids, and they go out to the beach and they just chill. Probably does a little bit more fishing on the side, but one time this white dude pulls up. He's like, "Hey man, like you got a whole opportunity here. Why don't you make a business out of this?" And I was gonna say the Asian guy, the Mexican guy just goes, "For what?" You know, real G shit, you know, real philosopher shit.
Sticking up to the man.
And then the white guy goes, "Oh, so you can be rich, and then, you know, enjoy life." And then he says, and then what do you do after that? And then the white guy, he's like, you know, you kind of go on the beach and you chill out with your family.
Hey, what is the lesson in this?
The lesson is that he's already doing it.
He's already rich.
Oh, not he's already rich, but like, you know, he's already like living life as he
He made
wants
it.
to.
Yeah, that's true, right? So the white guy thinks making it is making profit.
Yeah. Or like having the money. I guess like, because I guess they end up at the same place. It's just one person ends up with more wealth than the other. And like, you know, every once in a while I'll think about that, but then I kind of go back to my American roots. I'm like, I do want to be a baller though.
Yeah, dude, that Mexican guy was giving off some like Okonkwo wisdom. right there.
Cool wisdom. I don't know if Okonkwo
Yeah,
was the
dude.
wisest man though.
No, but I mean, from his tribe probably believed that. You know, to them it was all about farming yams, beating their wives.
Real casual.
I mean, and I'm not making a
was,
joke. The book is about that.
You're right. You're right though. I mean, that is what it was, bro. Life back in the day, pre-colonization.
Well, also what is that? Pre-industrial revolution. Because do you think before the industrial revolution, not everyone was in a capitalist mindset or in a right like where's my revenue or my profit.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, really, they explored West, right? Maybe they heard Oregon was pretty chill. They had to fight off a couple bears and wolves in the Rocky
Shout out
Mountains.
LC. Shout out Lewis and Clark.
To shout out Sacagawea and her daughter. I think it was a daughter.
Sacagawea and the boys.
Right, but right, like Lewis and Clark, they didn't go on that expedition for profit. Nah,
but you know what? I think it all comes back to the same kind of like idea of like status and like maybe glory. Because you know, ultimately with money, like what are you chasing? You're chasing status. You're chasing glory. You know, you want to be remembered. You want to be. I mean, obviously providing for your family is like one of like the major things, but like beyond that, because you can provide your family with just like working. Maybe not now. Maybe not working a minimum wage job, but like you can provide for your family with working a variety of jobs. But people want those super high paying jobs ultimately for what? For status, to be able to afford some of those luxury goods.
And to leave a legacy, I think.
Yeah, to leave a legacy. And in the past, I mean, ultimately, maybe you weren't making profits, but it was for the same. You had the same goals in mind. Maybe you just weren't able to. No, even they were very able to. You know, I was gonna say they weren't able to articulate it, but that's false, very false. I mean, you know, ultimately they were chasing the same things as we are, just status. Humans are just so kind of basic, bro. Some humans.
Right, or to serve someone that has status.
Yeah.
Too. What must be going through their heads, or for their values or their principles to go, fuck, like, you know, my life is centered around this other person or fulfilling my duties.
Yeah, I think some of that maybe a little bit different, just because I feel like I think the ultimate goal for those. For those following like Hinduism and like in the caste system is to like reach enlightenment and eventually be able to go to heaven, right? Because if they don't move up in the caste system, then they just stay on Earth. But if they eventually move up, then they get to enlightenment and eventually heaven.
Yeah, I forgot about religion.
Yeah, I think that plays a role in this and that system. But for a lot of things. Especially American culture, it's status.
American, European. Oh, status, you mean?
Yeah, Western, I guess you could say.
No, yeah. Western, definitely.
Yeah.
Something I've been thinking about this week is, so I don't know if I did the math right, but I'm assuming I did. Kind of like a milestone or maybe a significant number in my head is 10,000 years ago. Or maybe a significant amount of time. 10,000 years ago, and I think I wanted to put into perspective how long ago that was, because I know it's not that long ago, at least in the span of the Earth or in the span of even mankind.
Yeah.
Because there's predictions that humans are 300,000 years old, meaning 300,000 years ago. That's how long we've been what we are today, humans. So then if that's true, then 10,000 years ago isn't necessarily that long. So I wanted to put into perspective, and I did the math. So if you divide 10,000 into 50, meaning 50 years, so let's say someone lives up to be 50 and then they die, and then that same day someone's born and they live up to be 50 and they die, so on.
Generation.
Generational, I guess. How long would that be? And it was only like 200 for 50, not even for 80 or for 100, just for 50. So that means crazy. 200 people had to live up to 50, die
before
and
you
repeat that cycle.
All right.
And then I also looked up what types of animals lived up in 10,000 years ago, and it was mammoths, it was dire wolves, it was the short-faced bear, I think. It was pretty much think all the animals from Ice Age. Those homies were up and roaming around, you know.
Saber-tooth and stuff.
Exactly, and there was humans.
That's wild. And to think, like, 200 people really isn't all that much. And think, like, it's really not at all. That's crazy that you put it into perspective like that. When you really think about it. And that's because it's only 50 years. Like, there could have been those anomalies of, like, people. Well, I mean, even, I always have to search it up, but I don't know what the average lifespan was for a human.
Back in prehistoric times, I think it had to be around 20 years old.
Wow.
Meaning on average, that's how long you live, right? Because of course some people die younger, some people die older. I chose 50 because today it's uncommon to see people live up to 50. Of course, we know how old someone looks like when they're 50, or better yet, how much a person sees when they live up to 50 years old. You do see it quite a lot, and then of course that number gets smaller if you do it every 100 years. Every 100 years, that's only 100.
Yeah, I feel like I think a big reason for like I know you said the average. I think a big reason. I mean, I'm sure like a bunch of children probably died. I mean, either whether during childbirth, if they count, I'm sure they count that because if they're humans, they still pass away, and then just children. Like imagine like being like 8 years old, and like your mom
and having like 13 brothers.
13
sisters.
brothers, yeah. Imagine like the types of diseases and shit. Running away from like a fucking saber tooth, and your mama having to choose some of the kids. She can't carry them all,
Oh yeah.
Wow,
dude,
bro, that's brutal shit, bro. It's insane.
Like a snake. Like you're just trying to farm, or forage for maybe like some.
Yeah, because I think
lumber.
at that point, I don't think they've been farming. But like, if you're foraging for like.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, not farming. Well, actually, I don't know how old farming is, but yeah, you're foraging for berries or what's the dinner gonna be, and then a snake or a or a saber-tooth. Can you imagine if you saw a saber-toothed tiger? Like, what do? You don't even try to run away. Like, just kill me.
Like, bro, just go for
something. A bear.
I mean, now, imagine.
Because now, if you see a bear,
well, they have, like,
you still don't stand a chance.
They have like a guide, a bear guide, But like, still, like, even then, I think they said for black bears, you try to make yourself bigger, you try to be loud. For grizzlies, brown bears, you just try to like Wombo over here. You just try to like act like you're dead or something. For
grizzlies, for brown bears, yeah, you shut down, yeah.
Yeah, but for like white bears, polar bears, right? Like you just kind of like you accept it. You're dead, bro. You're donezo. And like I didn't really think about it, but like I kind of like I don't know where I saw it. I saw it like either like on some nature channel or like just on the internet somewhere. But it makes complete sense now that like you actually think about it. Like polar bears are like the deadliest bears on Earth. And the only thing they eat is meat, bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like out there that like there's no plants or anything that live like that can live in those conditions. So the only thing they can really like eat is like by like meat, by like attacking shit, bro. It's wild. And they're so fast at swimming and running.
Oh,
it's
God.
fucking insane, man.
All right, what's worse? Like stumbling onto a bear, like a polar bear, and then it kills you, or knowing that you're being hunted by a polar bear. Like it's stalking you, and you're trying to escape it, but it's not. You can't outrun a bear, or you can't outswim a bear.
I would think
being hunted.
You think being hunted? I would say being hunted too, just because like it's like you're done. You just know, like you can't do anything about it either. Especially if it's like a polar bear, bro. A polar bear's on your ass, you're donezo. You know what's crazy? One time, I was camping. It wasn't at my campsite or anything, but like I kind of like went to like a fellow campsite, and there's like it was like in like it was in New Mexico. That mountain range starts. I forget. Is it the Rocky Mountains? I think it's the Rocky Mountains. I want to say it's, but where that mountain range starts from, like New Mexico, and it kind of goes straight up to the through the United States.
Oh, that's the Rocky Mountains.
Right through the Rocky Mountains, right? We were just chilling there for a while, and then like we kind of passed by, and there's like little campgrounds like within the campsite. So one campground, I guess there's like this tent that was like torn up, bro.
Oh.
Completely torn up. But thankfully it was like a black bear. So like there's a bunch of dudes there, and so like what they did, they literally got their pots and pans,
Just
their
whatever
cooking
they could
utensils,
find.
whatever they could find, really. Yeah, exactly. And they just started making a bunch of noise and looking like huge, and it got scared and ran off. I'm like, bro, like that's the first time like actually seeing some of these like, you know, these guides. Like I saw it in action, and I'm like, okay, like I know at least for black bears, if I'm in like a big enough group, and I have enough things that kind of like make noise and look bigger, then like I'll be like maybe I'll be okay, you know.
Did you see the bear, or you only saw the people spooking it away?
I didn't even see that. We heard stories. I just saw the tent that was like tattered up because they went in there.
Oh, okay.
It was just looking for food. It smelled because you know people carry around like granola bars and like you know, like sugary snacks and stuff. So it kind of just went in there like sniffing around.
Just sniffing.
Sniffing. I guess he got in there. He grabbed someone's backpack and would just kind of going ham, bro. And then like someone was like, "What the fuck?" And then they came back and just started like making a bunch of noise and stuff. And they ran off to the woods.
Right, because you know if that bear found some like M&Ms, the game over, bro. Like your tent's
done.
going down.
There's these things called bear bags for stuff that like had like a strong like sweet smell, or even like soap, like some like a foreign smell, something you won't smell like in the woods. We used to have to like get like a rope and put it over a tree, and we would tie the bag, and obviously before we put tie the bag, we put like our food items and stuff in there. And it would be away from the campsite, and we have to like literally hoist this bag up, and it'd just be up like 15-20 feet up in the air.
Damn, those pesky bears, you know.
This pesky, dude, it's a real problem, bro. It's absolutely a real problem.
And maybe even like raccoons. You know, raccoons are trying to get in there too.
For sure,
with their
bro.
little fingers, the little thumbs.
It's so crazy how human like they are, you know.
They're funny. I love raccoons.
They're annoying, but like they're funny.
Yeah, they're like the perfect combination of, I don't know, like a weird. It's like a weird animal, right? Like it's not a squirrel.
Yeah.
A squirrel's, I think they're cool the first times you see them, and then you're like, it's a rat, you know.
Yeah.
Get this fucking squirrel away from me. But a raccoon, you're not gonna get annoyed of, or you're gonna be like,
I'm always interested. Yeah. And people have pet raccoons, bro. That's crazy.
I'd get one. I would get one.
I would too. Like I say they're annoying only like when they do like, you know, obviously all animals can be annoying. Humans can be annoying, bro. But like when animals like the raccoons like tearing through your trash bags and shit. Like another time we were camping, but like it wasn't like camping. It was just, you know, we had a trailer out there. But we had our trash bags just outside, and then sure enough, like when we woke up in the morning, there was like just all over the place just trash, bro.
They don't clean up after themselves.
No, they don't, bro. But that was honestly our fault. Should have known better.
It's like when you give your dog a new toy, and the next time you see the toy, it's all over the place. It's shredded up, and
so you're watching
my girlfriend was trying to show me The Good Place. And I was already skeptical from the art. You know, on Netflix when you see the little cover art, and you already like, and they told you don't judge a book by the cover, but I mean, come on, man. You know I gotta judge it, and I was like, I don't know. So she clicks play on the first episode, and I maybe got like 5 minutes into it, and she's like, "What? Like, where am I? Oh, you're in The Good Place. What? The Good Place? Yeah, it's like all the good people come here." And she's like, "Wait, so am I in heaven?" And she's talking to like this old white guy, and then they show another person, they're white. They show another guy or another girl, they're white too, and then they show a black guy. I'm like, all right, you know, a brother's in the scene now, right? Maybe I'll like this show. And it's like the whitest black guy ever. So then I tell her like, turn it off. I don't want to watch this shit. And she's like, "What? Like you barely even got like 5 minutes into it." And I said, I don't want to watch white people pretend they're in heaven. and I don't know. I think just that line, I don't want to watch white people pretend in heaven. That's really what the show's about. It's like Glee. The show Glee's about white people thinking they can sing.
You said you enjoy it though, bro.
The Good Place? No, I didn't like that shit.
I'm sorry. Well, then I missed because you said you turned it off, but then I thought earlier in the conversation that you said, I'm kind of turning around to it. My bad. Completely.
My girlfriend likes the show, and then she wanted to turn me on it, and I'm like, I don't want to watch white people pretend like they're good, like they did good deeds in their life.
The image of the common image of Jesus is like a white dude, and it's obviously because a white dude painted the image,
or the fact that all those old parables and stories take place in what is the Middle East now, right? So like Israel and Jerusalem, but it never really seems like it took place there. It kind of seemed like it took place where there's white people and they're like, oh, Jesus, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
With your love and honor.
But Jesus was kind of a savage at some points, bro.
Oh, dude, he's straight flipping tables.
Dude,
walking on water. One of my favorite parts of the Bible is when I think Jesus and his mother are at a wedding or they're at some event and they run out of wine. And Jesus' mom tells him, wait, can't you make water into wine? And he pretty much says, don't tell me what to do, woman. That's what he says. He's my boy JC snaps at his own mom. Bro, calm down.
Relax, bro. That's wild.
What does he say? He says something along that,
I know he says woman, yeah. Woman,
That's a great Jesus moment.
Great JC moment.
One of them is that there's essentially the equivalent to a flea market held at a church. And Jesus walks into the church what the hell is this? This is my dad's house.
What are you doing? Alright? What you doing on my pop's place, bro?
So that's when he starts flipping tables.
So I don't know that. So I remember that story where he starts flipping tables, but I don't know the context of why he started doing it.
You also got
dude, but you know what's crazy? Real quick side note, imagine being one of the man's followers, right? Imagine seeing him do all this miracles and stuff. All this good stuff, and then be like, hey yo, but I really need that rent money, bro. Judas.
No, bro.
But for real, that's what he did, bro. He really sold out his homie. Not just his homie, but he sold out God, bro. For a pair of off-whites.
For a pair of off-whites.
It is. I think it's important for your worldview in general, to kind of just get familiar with different things. Not necessarily that you have to convert or anything, but you just kind of be familiar. I was watching this, or I just started watching this show on Netflix. It was called Ancient Apocalypse or something. I know you watch a lot of Joe Rogan, or at least you used to, and apparently there's this guy on there, this journalist who was kind of a lot of archaeologists have said that, or kind of dismiss the idea that, or not dismiss necessarily, but kind of they don't say that the Ice Age is as important to human kind of development or culture. They kind of say that human culture and development kind of started after the Ice Age. Considerable monuments started being built after the Ice Age and stuff. But what this guy is saying, he's not saying anything super conspiracy theorist or anything. He's just saying that, during the Ice Age, humans kind of traveled along the land bridge that was there, and they spread their culture throughout. That's all he's really saying, but archaeologists have kind of put him down and stuff. And he has this whole show on Netflix, and it's super interesting. Like it kind of comes off on that conspiracy kind of like way, but if you really like dig into it, it's really not. He's just saying that there were people who like, you know, I don't know where like, I don't know where he's suggesting they came from. And I don't even know if he has the answer to that, but he's just suggesting with all these monuments and especially like pyramids, because pyramids are like kind of like they're in every culture. And there's also this story of like the Great Flood in every culture. Obviously, like in a lot of like ancient, like kind of like super, and across the globe, it's crazy. I think that he said in Japanese culture, obviously, you know, the story of the Bible. There's Noah and the Ark, the one that we're most familiar with, and even like ancient like Mexican like kind of culture. I think there's like a story of a great flood that happened. In a bunch of different cultures, there's a story of a great flood, and it's like, why is this like a common theme that keeps popping up? And his suggestion is that he says that there is this guy, or maybe this group of people, who were crossing the land bridge and just spreading knowledge and just spreading stories about farming and of course about their culture too, which would include stories about like a great flood happening.
I do know who you're talking about, but what I don't like is that he seems like just someone that is curious and wants to dive deeper into the truth, or at least a possibility of what the truth could be. And I don't really like when people automatically shut down others just because they think it's not possible or it's unlikely. Yeah, I mean, if this guy is putting energy and maybe, I'm sure, funding his own research or projects, then let him.
I think it's important, and I think it was more like prevalent in the past. At least it seemed more prevalent in the past that people kind of like, at least it's like in other disciplines even, like it's very common to kind of like, you know, always have ideas, like new ideas coming up, and yes, they're challenged, but they're still like, they're still like, you know, people do evidence to either like to both prove it and disagree with it. And it seems like automatically, at least in this space, it seems like archaeologists are just kind of automatically shutting him down without even like giving him like the, you know, possibility of like at least going out there and them doing their own, you know, getting their own research and doing their own findings on whether it's true or not. They're not even giving him a chance. I definitely agree with what you said. I think it's important to kind of like present new ideas and new possibilities because it's just, you know, it's important.
Yeah, and to not stay glued to ideas that we already have today, because in reality, everything that we think is truth or common knowledge now is only that because, you know, people agreed on it
and people challenged it. Like at one point, people thought the sun revolved around the earth, and they said that like as fact, bro. And it's not someone until someone challenged that, until that, you know, we were like the truth.
The homie Galileo, and he got, I'm not sure what the extent of it was, but he got either arrested or...
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because, of course, because he kept telling people that, you know, the sun doesn't revolve around the earth. It's actually the opposite. To the point where he got, I don't know if he got arrested or he got something else happened to him, but something extreme like that. And like you said, people challenge it, or people disagree with him.
That's crazy.
People were saying no, the sun actually revolves around the earth. They swore by it, and what do they know? They were wrong.
Or the idea of like a flat Earth, even. I'm sure, like I mean, I know, like, at least I'm pretty sure that the idea of a flat Earth was like a common belief at one point in time.
Oh, it was before, in the 1400s, before the Columbian Exchange, right? Before people realized, oh shoot, the Americas aren't actually India. Yeah. And it's funny too, because it's like they landed anywhere and just started calling it India.
Yeah.
You know?
It must be India.
It's like they could have landed like in Indonesia, and they still would have called it India.
Yeah.
Like, the Indians. Like, you know what Indian people look like. These people do not look Indian.
That is pretty crazy.
They don't even speak Indian.
Right? That's insane. You would think. I'm pretty sure they brought along someone who spoke Indian. Or I don't know if it was that's not the right term, I'm sure. But who spoke the language. And if this guy couldn't communicate, then it's like, okay, obviously we're in the wrong place, bro. Turn the boat around, or at least like be like, okay, like this obviously isn't India. Like, what is this place? But no, we'll just call it India.
Right, but yeah, maybe they realized they weren't Indians per se, but they did discover that they reigned over those people. Like, they were superior over them in terms of technology and just concepts like money.
Yeah.
And because the native people, the indigenous people, didn't have, I don't even think they had like a sense of government or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or what's cool, sorry, what's cool is that they saw people with red hair. They had never even seen that. They called it people with flaming hair or whatever.
Or even with like that light skin. Or like golden hair, right? They say hair made of gold. Like, that's insane, bro.
And their swords, they would touch the swords and not realize that they were sharp because they had never seen anything like that.
That's wild. For like something to be so foreign like that, dude. Like, they're literally aliens, bro. Like, it's insane.
Bro, back to a Congo, bro.
Dude, literally, bro.
They must have been losing their minds.
And it's pretty like. That is pretty wild. Like, imagine now if like an alien race did come from the sky, and like attempted to like convert everyone to their like alien religion. And
yeah.
like their alien traditions, and their alien like culture as like, and imagine like being the one guy, like everyone around you is like, okay, like I guess so. And
but
then
you
like,
know why?
Huh.
Oh, keep going.
And then you're like the one guy that's like, hey, bro, like we have our own traditions and we have our own cultures and our own beliefs. Like I think like putting it into perspective like that, kind of like, it's like, obviously I'm not just gonna like imagine if they don't believe in God. Nah, because obviously like Christianity is like such a big like, widely believed across like America, and it's like what personally, what I follow. But like, imagine just like everyone around you that's always been like Christian or like something something like that, just been like, okay, well, like I guess we're gonna follow these alien guys now. I guess we're gonna abandon everything that we've known and just be like, well, I guess this seems right. That's crazy, bro.
You know why they would convert? Because the aliens would come and they'd go, hey, check out this new alien technology that y'all don't have. Yeah. Especially if it's better than ours, people are gonna get hooked. Like, whoa, these guys have brought alien iPads. It's like imagine it went from the iPhone, what are we, 14? Yeah. Imagine it went from the iPhone 14 into like the equivalent of like the iPhone 300. Like, imagine if our technology bounced that high up.
Yeah.
Then people are gonna be converting left and right. Like, people's Instagram bios, they're gonna take off the proverbs.
They're gonna take off the proverbs and like the cross, and they're gonna put like a spaceship, bro. They're put like a UFO.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild. Or imagine being like, "Hey, yo, I got the alien phone, dog."
Wait, bro, you haven't gotten the new alien phone yet,
dude?
Like, you haven't gotten the new alien Xbox?
But I still feel like a lot of people would be like, it's just so crazy putting it into that perspective, because like saying that, like, you know, like because obviously a lot of people, you know, the majority of people like in America and stuff are like pretty Christian, and like when they see that, you know, that these guys kind of brought over their Christianity and their whole beliefs and everything to these people, like they're like, I feel like a lot of the common belief is like, yeah, you know, like they did it in the wrong way, they shouldn't have done it the way they did, like ultimately it was a good thing, like imagine, but like, you know, and I have my own personal beliefs about that, but you know, like imagine just like an alien, like how we just said, you know, just an alien coming down and like just being like, hey, this is the way things are, these are the way things are and the way things should be done. Especially Okonkwo, like the whole story of like his son, like his own son, bro, like been like, yeah, now I'm part of this alien religion now. Wild, bro.
It's mind-boggling. I mean, that's why the book ends the way it ends. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
In case all our fans are curious. But the reason why the book ends like that is because that's how drastic that scenario was. Like his whole world literally got flipped on its head, and he didn't know how to react to it.
That's wild, man.
But yeah. All right. Well, I think we should end it off there. Any closing remarks?
That's about it. We're gonna come back next time with some heat, with some fire, with some fire thoughts, with some fire conversations. So be sure to tune in, dog.
Some good vibes.
Good vibes.
And good vibes only.
Can't go wrong
with Wombo.
With Wombo back here.
The Wombo hour.
The Wombo. It should be Wombo with Dreams or Wombos.
If we ever have merch, do you know who's?
Oh, dude, absolutely, bro. We're gonna get sued. We're gonna get sued from Discord. Yeah. We'll just do a collab with Discord.
Dude, we gotta try it. Oh yeah, we'll just do a collab.
Absolutely.
All right, well, this has been Beans with Dreams.
Out.
Signing off.